And welcome to the stage, Sally Firth.
Hello everyone, it's lovely to see you, although you probably weren't expecting to see me. I'm usually cage fighting on Saturdays. Unfortunately, I've been banned. Something to do with not understanding what no holds barred means. So James said I could try some stand-up comedy. Thank you. I've got a lot of time on my hands since the Samaritans asked me to leave. I did try adult education, but words cannot describe the humiliation that was life drawing for beginners. I know they say a bad workman blames his tools, but there are some images not even a 6B pencil can capture. I almost didn't make it tonight. My bail was only granted this afternoon. What a fuss to make about pepper spraying someone who had their feet on the tube seats. Thank you. Anyway, as James said, my name's Sally and I'm married to Roger. He's an oxymoron. By that I mean he's too stupid to be allowed to breathe. For years he thought the Paralympics was the Olympics in Paris. Roger and I are both at home during the day, though he's still working and I'm retired. I do my best to keep my distance. For example, I have my lunch, usually a tuna baguette or a chicken cup of soup, on a tray in front of the television so I can catch up on the latest episode of My Lover, My Killer. If I want some light relief, there's always Meet, Marry, Murder. After lunch, I could spend some time on the serial killer jigsaw. I have completed the Yorkshire Ripper, but I'm still looking for Ted Bundy's head. Roger has his lunch on a tray in his study. Sometimes I mess with his head by taking him coffee in a mug marked tea. I always make sure to WhatsApp Roger before going upstairs, just in case he's getting some light relief. We don't want a repeat of the Trump inauguration fiasco. Roger also has an hour to himself most days when I go for my walk, during which time he can release his tensions. Now, ladies, we know that men have needs, but we don't have to be there when they satisfy them. Roger's like a lot of men, I suppose. He thinks about sex when he's doing other things. I think about other things. When I'm doing sex with Roger. He's not very romantic either. If I want my hand held, I have to go to the nail bar. Thank you. Sex with Roger, it's like going to the hairdresser. In the beginning, you're full of optimism, thinking this time it will be different. Halfway through, you realise you're not going to get the desired result. And at the end, even though you're disappointed, you say, "Thank you. That was lovely." When they show you your rear view in the mirror. And 6 weeks later, you have to do it all again. I have tried bringing a photograph to show what I wanted, but that didn't work. And as for offering a tip at the end, don't even go there. You might think that Roger would be good at sex because he spends so much time practicing when I'm out. But sadly, that's not the case. All these years together, and he still needs a sat-nav to find my G-spot. We have tried role play. Roger pretended he was head of the household. And I pretended I believed him. Oh, and there was the time that one of the ladies from Bitch and Stitch, that's Knit and Natter to you, invited me to an over-60 swingers party. When you arrive, everyone puts their prescribed medication into a kidney dish, and you take someone else's out. Then you have to have sex with that person until one of you needs the medication. Much to my surprise, Roger was up for this. Now, I would never have pegged him as a senior swinger. In fact, I'd never pegged him. That was another surprise. Anyway, it all went horribly wrong. I was too vain to wear my glasses. So after I'd put my HRT tablets into the bowl, I took Roger's insulin out by mistake. I was too embarrassed to put it back, so I had to have sex with my own husband. So you can understand how upset I was when he said to me recently, "You are so predictable. Why don't you ever surprise me? Dress up or something." So the next day, when he got back from his walk, I did surprise him. I was wearing his mother's clothes. He wasn't laughing. I always thought he wanted me to be more like you, see, but it didn't go down well. I think it was too soon after her funeral. If I'd known Roger had a weak heart, I'd have done that ages ago. Anyway, the ambulance men were amazing. I take my hat off to them. It was Roger's mother's hat. Well, that reminds me, years ago, when our son Johnny was little, Roger refused to take me out to lunch on Mother's Day because he said I wasn't his mother. So this year on Father's Day, I told him, "You're not Johnny's father." Some of you might think that was a bit unkind, but Roger had been doing a number of things that really irritated me, like waking up. Having said that, when he's asleep, his snoring keeps me awake. I was thinking about buying an anti-snore pillow, but then I realised any pillow's anti-snore. If you put it over someone's face. A few days ago, I had a surprise. I was in the supermarket and I needed the loo. And you know what? They've got a condom machine in the ladies at Tesco. I know you're surprised. You thought I shopped at Waitrose, didn't you? As I was leaving Tesco, I was approached by a homeless man who said, "Any change?" I had to tell him, "Sorry, no, my husband's still useless in bed." For my birthday, Roger bought me a gym membership. I was hoping for a widow's pension. When I first arrived, I was intimidated by all the other fit bodies, but then I imagined them with their clothes on, and I was fine. In the dance class, I'm the oldest by about 20 years. I thought the other ladies were watching me closely because they were stunned by my stamina. But it turns out they're waiting for me to drop dead during Uptown Funk. The other day I arrived at aerobics and there was a new lady and she was standing in my space. I didn't say anything, but when she was picking up her hand weights, I dropped some ketamine into her water bottle. When I first met Roger, he already had a girlfriend. She's dead now. My mother told me that if I lived with Roger, he'd never marry me. I wish she'd been right. Within weeks of our meeting, we'd moved in together and we were doing the things that married people do, having sex when only one person wants it, not having sex because the other person doesn't want it, and lying together silently, side by side in the darkness after sex, which neither of us wanted, but both of us thought the other one did. I sometimes think I'd rather read a good book than have bad sex, though I can do both at once. These days, though, I do my best not to overstimulate Roger, and to that end I only ever serve decaffeinated coffee in the evenings as a precaution. But if I really want to dampen his ardour, I replace his Viagra with laxatives. I will occasionally oblige, though, because I find afterwards he's much more willing to clean the oven. Little tip there for the girls. Oh, another little tip, ladies, don't get your hysterectomy on Groupon. My friend Angela did, and 6 months later she's still picking the iron filings out of her Spanx. Angela's divorced, sadly. She hasn't got anyone to clean her oven. But she has found a marvellous app that helps her meet suitable men. It's called Check a Trade. Anyway, I think I should be going. I am due at the Comedy Store in an hour. One of the bouncers has called in sick. And they've asked me to cover his shift. Thank you very much. I've been Sally Firth. Thank you.